Welcome to Paul's Heart. I'm Paul, author of the book Paul's Heart, Life as a Dad and a 35-year cancer survivor. As I'm approaching my 18th anniversary of my first of 3 heart surgeries, I want to remind you, as I'm doing this second part, to go back and watch the first part of this series when your body tries to warn you. Again, this is a video series that can apply to anyone, male, female, regardless if you've had cancer or not. The fact is, the warning signs are there and it could make the difference that saves your life. It did mine. So, on to part two. Well, reminder, go watch part one first so you understand where I'm at. But on to part two. I arrived for my appointment for my nuclear stress test on the 16th. I was early, as I usually am, not out of enthusiasm. That's just who I was. An IV got placed into my hand, and that would be used to inject the radioactive isotope for when they would take the pictures for the nuclear scan. Of course, the hardest part for any procedure for me post-cancer is getting an IV into me or for a blood draw, chemotherapy having destroyed my veins. But before I would head to the treadmill lab, it was off for my first set of pictures with the isotope having been injected, showing my heart at no stress. Okay, now once that was done, I got connected to the telemetry, which is basically an EKG, pads all over with wires and stuff like that. And then I would get put on the treadmill. At this point, there were 4 others in the room with me. There was a nurse, there was a tech who was watching the telemetry, and I'm not sure who the other 2 were. And then it was go time. I climbed onto the treadmill, the exercise. Tech explained to me how the test would work. The test would last approximately 12 minutes. I was definitely confident that I could handle that. So every 3 minutes, the belt would speed up and the treadmill incline would increase, hence producing the sensation of stress. This would be done until my heart rate got up to the desired result that they needed for the test. Okay, now as the test began, the belt was definitely a slow walk, pace, and flat incline. Got through the first 3-minute mark, no problem. And then the first increase in speed and incline. And almost immediately, I got that tightness in my chest that I mentioned in the first video. But as I was not suspecting anything, because they already knew that I had that symptom, I told them, I said nothing. I had 9 more minutes to go. But then the nurse asked, "Are you okay?" And I responded, "Yeah, I'm just starting to get that tightness that I mentioned before." The nurse asked, "Can you go a little further? We're almost getting to where we need your heart rate." Confidently, with a bit of bravado, I said, "Go for it." By the time I got to the 6-minute mark, I had the full tightness and pain in my chest and shoulder as usual. No one was saying anything to me at that point, so I just kept going. And then the belt increased again, and the treadmill raised its angle some more. Less than a minute later, the tech said, "Stop the belt. Mr. Edelman, you can step down." All that I heard was that something showed on my EKG. Something had happened. I was still oblivious, not connecting how I felt with the result of the EKG. So I got taken back to the lab for another dose of the isotope and then back to radiology for another set of pictures. This time my heart was having been stressed out. Now I didn't feel any differently. As usual, the tightness and the pain had gone away. Once this was finished, the IV port got removed from my hand and I was told to wait out in the waiting room before being released. In the meantime, I could enjoy something to drink and something to snack on. I was starving. And then I noticed something. People who had come into the office after me were leaving before me. And I mean everyone. This couldn't have been a good sign. So something didn't feel right. What, was I being forgotten? And then the nurse appeared and said, "Mr. Edelman, will you come with me, please? The cardiologist would like to talk to you." Yeah, this was deja vu, just as I wrote in my book, Cardiologist wants to talk to me? There's nothing wrong with my heart, right? Right? Dr. S was a younger doctor and quite possibly even my age, 42. Very friendly demeanor, but he had a serious message. I don't usually put things this way, but I'm 100% certain that you have a blockage. The good news is we can check you right into the cath lab next door, pop in a couple of stents in you, and you'll be good as new in a week or two. Blockage? Cath lab? Stents? Couple of weeks? The doctor didn't need to tell me what the actual problem was when the Kubler-Ross stages had already kicked in. Denial first, and then bargaining. Listen, Doc, I'm sure this is serious, but listen, I have a wedding I have to DJ this weekend. How about if I come back Monday after the wedding and we can get this done? This was his response. Perhaps you didn't understand me. You have a blockage in your heart. Your heart is not getting the blood supply it desperately needs. Time is crucial to get this repaired. I saw the images and I could pick out what he was talking about. No blood going to my heart. I saw the actual still shots that were taken. The doctor had my attention. I would forget about arguing about the wedding. The doctor was saying I would be good in a week or two. If I got this done and doing stents were going to be this easy, I might even still be able to pull the wedding off anyway. But I was still not done trying to gain some sort of control by bargaining. Look, this really caught me off guard. I need to go home tonight. I need to wrap up a few loose ends. Most importantly, I need to see my daughters. I've never been apart from them, and I need them to know that I'm going to be fine. The doctor replied, okay, just please don't do anything else at home. Just relax, get here first thing in the morning. So I replied, perfect, nothing but relaxing. In fact, I'll spend some time mowing my lawn. His actual response, are you an idiot? Didn't you hear me? I said nothing but relaxing. And I interrupted, but mowing the lawn is relaxing to me. I could tell from his expression I needed to rethink my idea of relaxing. It was an hour drive home and it still really had not hit me. I'm going to have heart surgery tomorrow morning. How could that be? I'm too young for this. I'm in good shape. I'm happy. Things are going great for me. This isn't right or fair. When I put my daughters to bed that evening, I told each of them how much I loved them. And I hugged them and I kissed them goodnight. I explained that I would be gone in the morning before they headed off to school and daycare, but that I would see them afterwards. We'd never been apart from each other, and it wasn't going to start now. Part 3 is coming up next. Until next time, this is Paul's Heart.